Okay, we're in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. The sun is getting warmer, the grass is getting greener, and the MLB spent the offseason utilizing new technologies in order to revolutionize how the game is rigged. All this tells us that opening day is here. Today's DimWits will debate a range of baseball-related questions to prepare for the 2024 season. To make it interesting, we got a Phillies fan versus a Met fan versus a Yankee fan. Let's see who can take it home and win the series. I'm Eric Hammitt, and this is DimWit Debates. All right, men, this is how it works. 5 innings, person who wins the most innings wins the debate. I will be moderating you guys to make sure conversation stays in the baselines, but you're not going to be pleading the case to me. Following each inning, we will take it over to our umpire crew, usually known as the Tribunal. Heather on the end there is going to serve as crew chief. This is Heather's first time, and we've kind of been lacking on the penalties anyway, so I wouldn't be too worried. Crew chief can fact check and look for foreign substances, also known as spouting bullshit. You certainly have the ability to appeal the call by shouting fake news and request the source of the information. If the umpires agree that the source is bullshit, unlike the 2017 Houston Astros World Series Championship, the decision will be overturned. You got it.
Thank you.
Now, if penalized, you will be subject to draw a card from the Pit of Doom. Today on the Pit of Doom, as you can see, we have relief pitcher Yuga Thurbina, a 2-time All-Star and pretty good run-of-the-mill relief man until he refused to pay his mother's ransom to a bunch of kidnappers and chased his landscapers with gasoline and a machete. So anyone who does that deserves a spot on the Pit of Doom, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
cool.
I'd say so.
All right, so we got our Phillies, Mets, and Yankees fans, and we're going to go around the horn, meet everybody. Everyone's going to get a warm-up question. You guys ready?
See, Poppy.
All right, let's do it. Ryan, we're going to go with you first. Question's going to pop up on the screen in a minute. So I got 2 fictional players right here. Who's the better player? Benny the Jet Rodriguez or Pablo Sanchez?
You know, it's funny you say that. Pablo Sanchez wasn't just great at baseball. He was great at every sport you can think of. He was the backyard champion, but he was literally the epitome of what you want as a player for every sport. Easily Pablo Sanchez. Pablo Ramon Sanchez, more specifically.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ryan. I agree with you. Keith, you ready for your warm-up question?
Shoot.
You a right-handed batter or left-handed batter?
I would say I swing both ways, but this room would not accept that. I throw and hit righty.
So if you were in the major leagues, who would be the bigger nightmare? Roy Halladay or Max Scherzer?
Well, considering one's dead, I would have to go with Max Scherzer.
Let's go with in their prime.
He still throws 90-95.
In their prime, huh?
That he does.
Yeah, I actually would have to go with Halladay. Was probably had a nastier set of pitchers. Scherzer has kind of got more power on him, I think, but I think Halladay had a better breaking stuff, so that would be the one to be harder for me.
He also relied heavily on his sinker.
He did,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
especially on the boats.
Oh my God.
So yes, Roy Halladay, rest of the season. I mean, we'll give him a moment of silence. We won't give Thurman Munson a moment of silence. We'll give it to Doc Holliday over there.
All right, Jody, we got your warm-up question. Who is a more deserving Hall of Famer, Pete Rose or Barry Bonds?
Pete Rose.
Excellent question.
Why?
He had the most hits ever in the history of the game. He played it the right way. He played it hard. Some people didn't agree with what how he would dive into the base. Remember Ray Fosse? I don't know if you remember that in the All-Star game back in the 70s. He knocked him, ruined his career, diving into home to score in an All-Star game. So he played the game tough and right. Should he have bet on his team, his own team? No. But my God, I mean, for baseball, all that, what he did in the game, he definitely deserves to be in the Hall.
They're giving Ohtani a pass. You think they're going to talk about that with Pete Rose or what?
It's not Hahn, it's his interpreter, sir. Please get the fact right.
Oh,
Quote unquote.
I'd love to watch that story unfold. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. All right, let's take it over to our tribunal. Answer some questions. Mike in the center with the sunglasses there. We're going to start with you. You're a sports fan, right?
Of course.
Great. So I got an interesting question for you. Rank these 3 non-baseball athletes best to worst based on how good you think they'd be on the diamond. We got LeBron James, Michael Phelps, or Peyton Manning.
Best to worst.
Best to worst.
That's a good question.
Taking Phelps number 1 as, be honest, he'd probably be a good center fielder or a good right or left fielder. He's probably pretty fast.
Who?
Phelps.
Michael
In
Phelps.
the middle, number 1.
My people say Ken Phelps.
Then I'd probably take Payne, number 2. Probably a good, solid, old guy, first baseman. And then LeBron, number 3. He'll probably just be the bat boy.
Love it.
Probably golf shit.
Cool. Thank you, Mike.
That's the 3 in order.
It's a good thing they're not debating.
Nice.
Terrible.
Appreciate it, Mike. And now we got Danny over there taking a long drag at that pen.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah. Oh, now you have experience in professional baseball, the only one here, right?
Oh, see, Poppy.
So, you ever use steroids?
Yes, I did.
Lovely.
HS.
Well, this goes into our question. Best steroid injection site. Quadriceps, deltoids, ass.
Least the worst.
Yeah, just the best one. What's the best place to inject the steroids?
Honestly, I would have to say the ass because
Definitely yes.
you can alternate each cheek one day. So if you shot it in one day, you can do it the other day, Monday. Just alternates the pain. It hurts.
Okay.
And I don't know why those fucking junkies says, how the fuck do you do it?
Where did you get your steroids?
My sister's ex-boyfriend's brother.
Wow.
That's quite a connection.
Yeah.
Need a flow chart for that shit.
What'd you say?
And I got my sticks from Mexico.
Good to know. Now we are going over to Heather, crew chief. How you doing, Heather?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Ready for your warm-up question?
I am ready.
Based on looks alone, pound one, marry one, and kill one of these 3
All
baseball
right.
mascots. We got Mr. Redlegs of the Reds. We got Slider, who looks like he has secondary stage syphilis, and Wally the Green Monster. Got to pound one, marry one, kill one.
Kill the monster.
Well, the stash you have to pound, right? Anyone with a stash, that's like what you have to do. So I think pound Redlegs, kill Slider, and Wally just seems like we would have a nice like relationship, like a good marriage. Like
He looks
he
fun.
looks,
Yeah.
he looks like he would like go out on the town and like take care of you.
Yeah.
Open doors and stuff. Yeah, that's what I think.
It's too bad the fanatic wasn't on there. Did you see his tongue? Things he could do with that thing. The one thing Philly does right is that fanatic. I'll give you that much.
And we have Mr. Colin on the snacks. Colin serves as our snack master today. What snacks do we got today?
Hot dogs, peanuts.
Cool. You ready for your warm-up question, Colin?
Of course.
Archetype and position these 3 fictional characters. So archetype means like speedy center fielder or like a power-hitting shortstop.
Oh my
We got Mr. Krabs, the ice cream, Mr. Salty,
That's it.
and Mr. Garrison.
Alright, so
Oh, damn.
Mr. Krabs, I'm thinking like a roided shortstop like A-Rod or Miguel Tejada because he's got that big barrel chest.
Where would he hit in the lineup?
Those guys, they were like 3 hitters. They deserve to be 3 because they had that extra advantage. So definitely 3rd, like Babe Ruth. Mr. Salty, I'm thinking like a speedy outfielder, like Torrey Hunter, and then he has a cone for his head so he can catch anything. So
There you go.
he's got his own mitt for his face,
It's great.
and he probably bet.
point.
I put him like a second leadoff at 7 or
Okay.
8.
Okay, interesting. And what about Herbert Garrison?
Garrison, I'm thinking like Ryan Ludwig, like he was like a bench player, then he had like one All-Star season, and then like he gets a sex change, and then he's like back to being a teacher or something, and I'll bet him like in like 6 hole.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Garrison's clearly a catcher. I don't know what you're looking at. And Mr. Krabs is great up the middle. Mr. Krabs' lateral movement is amazing.
My wife used to call me Mr. Softy. I don't know why.
Better than Mr. Krabs.
And then she called me that later.
Well, thank you all for your warm-up questions. You gentlemen ready to get started?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Tons of great stories, tons of great lore over the years. Every era of baseball has its own personality. So we're going to start with the best decade in Major League history. Each of you are going to get 2 minutes for an opening statement, okay? So we're going to start with you, Ryan.
Great.
Best decade in Major League history. Time starts now.
All right. It's the 90s. It's not even close, right? When you talk about watching baseball and having fun and just watching, it was the home run era, right? You had Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, just to name 2 right off the bat, the most glorified home run hitters in the decade. And obviously there's a lot of hit back on that with the steroids, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to that kind of stuff, right, Quotations.
I don't think you need quotations when you do steroids with 90. I think that's pretty factual. Yeah, I don't steal your time.
But here's the thing, though, right? When it comes to that, at the end of the day, you still have to be exceptionally good at baseball to be able to hit the ball. Like, what are they hitting the ball? 400 plus, 420 on average, it seemed like, on like every other hit. What does that steroids add? Maybe 15 feet? So they're going to hit home runs regardless. It was just a fun time. For me, obviously, I'm going to say, my era I grew up with, but I think anybody can agree that was one of the most fun eras to watch baseball. You enjoyed going to the game. Just like any other sport, as much as you enjoy seeing defense play the way they need to, it was very fun to watch offense play. You couldn't pitch to Mark McGwire or Barry Bonds ever. And even if you tried, good luck. So I'm sticking with the 90s.
All right, great. Thank you, Ryan. Keith? 2 minutes starts now.
I was born at the end of this era, but so everyone's seen a lot of baseball from it. But going through the history times, I did think about the 90s, but I do have some reasons why not. I'm going to go 1970s. The hair, you got players that straight out swapped wives, entire families. Too. No, you guys
Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekis.
That's right. They decided to do a little bit. You had back-to-back champions, like 5 out of the 10 years. You had the Big Red Machine. You got the A's with the Raleigh Fingers, the Catfish Hunters. You got Reggie with the Mr. October back in 78, 79. You got L.A. in it. You got Pittsburgh, bookending both ends. You got free agency, the DH. You got the cookie cutter stadiums, which is not a plus, it's a minus, but still it started to put into the perspective the future of the game, because now with all the concrete and the turf, the game turned from pitching to stealing bases, hitting it up to doubles. And then you got all the run Cardinals of the 80s and all that kind of stuff from the future also. So some of the best players from the 60s were kind of dying out. Some of the best players of the 70s carrying into the 80s. The aforementioned Rose playing for the Big Machine, then going into Philly to take their championship in the was it 80 or 81? I forget. With Michael Jack Schmidt on that team. Mm-hmm. So the 70s set up a lot of stuff. It was a lot of transition, free agency battles left and right, so people leaving left and right. And, of course, for these Yankee fans, the birth of George Steinbrenner, which then made history for the next 2 decades, or 3 decades, through the 80s and 90s. So I'm going to stick with the 1970s, back in a time when you could wear ugly uniforms and be happy with it. Just, again, with the Astros and the Phillies and the Padres, and also Bermuda shorts that the White Sox had.
Yeah.
But I will now give up my time to the senator from New York.
Perfect. That was actually 2 minutes exactly, almost. Good job, Keith. Jody, what do we got?
Exactly, almost.
It looks like we're all going with the decade that we were born in. I didn't see a game. I'm going to go with the 1950s. Okay, 1950s. I was born in 1958, December 58. So I would say that only because my family history goes back to the Yankees when Lou Gehrig was giving his speech and things like that. It's a lot of history there. So, but the 50s, it was just a different, more innocent time. The competition, and I guess maybe being an East Coast guy, and it was the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Yankees going at it a lot. The Yankees were in 8 World Series that decade. They won 6 of them. Now, this isn't about the Yankees, it's about the decade. Bob Feller, people that, there was some really great players who were coming up at that time. Hank Aaron was coming up then, things like that. And the country was just kind of gearing itself more toward the game, and they had lots of crowds, lots of excitement. I just think that there's a lot of good, really great hitters, and it was just a good time for baseball in America, to be honest.
Great. Thank you, Jody. Gentlemen, debate it out.
Surprised you didn't go with the 50s being the greatest time, with the Red Scare and all that stuff going on. But the kind of question has to kind of, is it the best decade for the game of baseball, the best for America, for players, what you want to go with? Because the 50s did have a lot of the returning players from the World War II coming back. You did have the like you said, Aaron and a couple other, Mantle going through the 60s, Maris, all those guys. But it was still, you said to yourself, you had the same team win 8 times out of 10. And kind of like, well, what the hell are we doing here? And the other team that did win was Brooklyn. So again, New York, New York, New York, New York. So as a New York region's bias, that's one thing,
I think there was Cleveland. There was somebody else won.
There was one other one in there somewhere.
But you're right. I get that.
70s again. You had Oakland win. You had LA against New York, which goes back to harkens to the 50s times. You had Pittsburgh wins and Cincinnati. So at the center of America, you had the left coast with the Yankees. You had the right coast with Oakland. It just came out of the Mets going into it. we also expanded in the 70s to bring you Seattle and Montreal. And I believe Texas came in, or they moved around. So as far as the 90s are concerned, I debated that as well because that was when I was watching too. But two things. The steroid era that actually happened, which is the reason why no one likes Barry Bonds anymore, or Clemens, which he's an asshole anyway. Kind of cuts it into it. And on a personal note, that 1994, I was a junior in high school. And I took the summer off, and we were driving from stadium to stadium until the strike happened, and my entire season and my entire vacation had to go back home. So on a personal note, I think the 90s were fun to watch, but they were tainted. And I know you're saying steroids, how much better does it make them? It makes them a lot better. Not for the fact that they're stronger, but you can play 162 games because you don't get pulls and strikes, all that stuff. So it does make a big difference on that. But I do like the 90s. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't think that for what happened in baseball and the country, plus, the 70s had hair. That's what, there's hair everywhere. Look at that shit in our teams, That's my opinion.
Oscar Gamble.
Oscar Gamble. How do you not know Oscar Gamble?
Yeah.
It seems like today's era is actually getting back to the 70s a little bit with the hairstyles, too. With a lot of the pitchers you see grabbing the longer hairs and beards and stuff like that. But
not in New York, though.
Yeah, not New York. Mustaches only. Question for you, real quick. This isn't about the debate. How much were seat tickets, roughly?
Back when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, well, years ago, you get into the game for a nickel, and the ushers would they go down on you. Years ago, you'd pay it was like 50 cents to sit in the bleachers.
That's crazy. It's awesome.
And
crazy and awesome.
I was a Con Edison kid in Yankee Stadium. He's getting for free to sit in the bleachers. So, but yeah, it was like for a regular seat, it was like grandstands, $2.
So crazy. But I wanted to. I don't have as much sample size as you guys, respectfully. But entertainment.
I think you just called us old.
Respectfully.
Respectfully or not, you said it's fucking old.
I went to a place the other day, they gave me a 10% wisdom discount. I said, get the fuck out of here.
So you get senior discount, right?
I'm getting closer to Jody. Go ahead, keep talking, Ryan. See what else you can dig yourself into.
Now I qualify for this shit, and I bought a ticket to New Jersey Transit. I forgot to get the senior price.
It's me just stirring the pot.
Okay, continue with your...
entertainment, right? Yeah. Entertainment's the thing that we're really looking for, and when you look at entertainment, and it's not fair to really compare in this way, but it is what it is. You didn't have the TV media that you had in the 90s, especially today, but in comparison, it always got more and more and better every decade. You can argue today, but the 90s were really the envelope of opening up the media for entertainment, to go to the games, to see the players, and video games, being able to show younger players that didn't even get a chance to see them in person, but able to play with them, to understand them. Ken Griffey Jr., the entertainment, in my opinion, slams the decades out of the water when it comes to that specifically, and that's my argument, is the entertainment side of it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It wasn't.
I also want to kind of one more time, then I'll let you talk.
Let's go home.
The 90s opened up one of the worst things ever happened to baseball, and that is called analytics.
Analytics. Was that in the 90s?
That started in the 90s. Analytics, which kills sports.
The hyper focus of it, or just the...
No, they opened it up. Then now the hyper focus is now.
Okay. So you're saying the start of analytics in the 90s?
Yeah, when they started coming up with Moneyball and all that crap, that was late 90s, and then all of a sudden now everything is... Did you know the Dodgers actually got tagged for... They had a laser pointer to tell their outfielders where to stand because of the analytics. So this batter hits this ball here 80%, so they put a laser point on the right field guy. Had a guy go stand on it. Major League Baseball is like, you can't use laser pointers, but that kind of thing kills the entertainment value because now you have the triumvirate of either strikeout, walk, or hit home run, and that is not baseball. That is arc softball, and that's not as much fun to watch.
There's an argument for everybody. Each decade has its own thing. It's like comparing, ice cream flavors or wine. You can't say what's better than the other thing. It's just an opinion. And I think that America was a different time then. The ball players were more lived in their neighborhoods. They did more for the kids and that kind of thing. It was just a more innocent time.
A lot of them had to work second jobs at that time too.
They had second jobs, and Roger Maris, was 61, but he hit all those home runs. He smoked cigarettes, Lucky Strikes, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just felt like it was a decade that the ball players took it seriously. They played the game right. What I see, Roy Campanella, say for the Dodgers, it was just, I don't know.
Let's go around. Let's get the best player in each of your decades.
Oh my
So the best player in the 90s, Ryan?
Ken Griffey Jr. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Tribunal, keep
that
tabs
is
of this. Keith, best player in the 70s.
That's a tough one, man. That's a real tough one. You go with overall play or so. I guess he wasn't there a lot long in the 70s, but Clemente was the 5-tool. He could do anything he wanted to do. He just tragically died going in the crowd helping kids out.
Okay.
No argument there.
Jody, best player in the 1950s.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Great hitter.
Hands down.
Speed.
That's a good question.
Great.
Yeah.
Just a good
And he could drink you under the table.
So good job. Great debate, gentlemen. Now we're going to take it over to our tribunal. Give your thoughts and vote for a winner. Danny, what are you thinking?
I'm sorry, I got screamed Mantle, Ted Williams, Roberto Clemente, fucking green card recipient, fuck him. And then they got the 90s Griffey. He was God's gift, man. He was like Kobe of NBA. So I'm gonna stick with the freaking 90s, baby.
Go Birds.
86.
Beautiful.
Birds.
Beautiful.
Can we get a couple people my age?
Mr. Dicken, how we doing?
You gotta remind me. So, Ryan, you took Griffey. Keith, did you take again?
Clemente, Roberto.
Clemente and
Mantle.
Right? So Clemente and Mantle, I never got to play, not got to see play. So, I can only hear things about them. So, I gotta say 90s, but Griffey was good, but he also had Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson out there.
Sure.
And Frank Thomas.
And Maddox.
And Kyle Ripken. So Griffey was good, but I'll stay with I'll stay with Clemente. Life got cut short, but I'm gonna go with Clemente. I heard he was amazing.
So you're going to go with the 70s.
Yes,
Great.
70s.
All right.
All right, Heather, you can break a tie or have a three-way tie.
90s is tough because there's just so many.
I'm always in for a three-way.
Who's
but,
not?
Can we take a break?
$4,000 get even close.
Ryan is.
He's cute though.
I don't want to go against Ryan because I love Ryan, but I think the 90s you were a little young still. I think that I know a lot of people who never came back to baseball after the strike.
Yeah, they sucked.
They never
The
came
strike
back.
was disastrous.
The strike ruined everything. It was my senior year of high school. The Phillies, you're talking about it. The Phillies were doing more coke and more Quaaludes and whatever they could get their hands on they were doing during that time. So I think like in the 90s, they were doing pitchers of beer like after the game. How athletic are you?
Sounds like a good time, though.
It is a good time, but I don't know how athletic if you're going to compare like Kruk.
I can say
to-
Crocker looks like my father out there
Well,
hitting
they
bombs.
said Crocky's just said, "You're an athlete. What are you smoking for?" He said, "I'm not an athlete. I'm a baseball player."
Yeah.
Exactly. Where only fat dudes can play baseball.
He was awesome.
But I'm too young for
50s.
my favorite player when I was growing up was Gary Carter.
Oh yeah, GC.
Yes, love Gary
Montreal
Carter.
Expose.
I was a
Yep.
catcher.
Yep.
I loved Gary Carter, and then it went right to Dutch. I did love the 90s, but I can't go with Ken
boy.
Griffey. There were so many
got
good
0 on this
people
one.
in that. So
Yeah, it's just my player.
I'm going to go with Clemente. Yeah.
Thank you very
So
much,
we're going
much.
with the 70s. Keith
70s,
wins
yes.
round number one.
Thank you very much.
So good job, Keith.
you,
Keep
sir.
up with the first point. Colin, let's get some snacks.
I agree. Thank you.
Hot dogs, peanuts, Cracker Jacks.
All right, moving on to the second inning. Probably the best part about experiencing a baseball game is the stadium. MLB, more than any other sport, has the distinct feel of each stadium. So we're moving on to best current stadium in the MLB. Keith, we're going to start with you.
So one of the things about baseball, as you just mentioned so astutely, is the feel of everything. And baseball definitely has a unique way to look at things. Like football stadiums are all the same dimensions, all that stuff like that. Tennis courts, all that basketball courts can only do so much. Each individual stadium can have its own life to it. I grew up going to the Vet. Oh, God. I also went to Shea, which is just as bad. But I've been to a couple of them recently. The City Field is beautiful. Comerica Park is great. I've been to the new Safeco out in Seattle. All very nice. But to bring together the proximity to the field, to bring together the nostalgia of baseball, the home warmth, the color schemes, the lines, the packed people, the entertainment to do before and after, Nothing beats Camden Yards in Baltimore, man. You can go down there. That warehouse where they have little plaques where home runs have been hit there, and you can see Griffey's one that hits off the warehouse. You can actually see his plaque. I go, good God, someone hit a ball that far. And then you can go to Boone's and all stuff.
Time's up.
I'm not done talking, sir.
Jody?
I will beat you with this bat.
Jody, 1 minute.
I'll never forget when I first went to my first baseball game in 1967, Yankees Orioles, walking out up the ramp and seeing it. It was like you're walking into heaven, like magic, right? But I don't remember the stadium. Yeah, then had so many posters, things like that. I lived in LA for a number of years, went to a lot of Dodger games, and there's just something. It's not a bad seat in the house. It's always packed. It's friendly. There's no bars and stuff around it, so you got to like tailgate or whatever. But it's just, I mean, as far as the ballpark, when you're sitting watching the game, I feel like there's not a bad seat in the house. It's beautiful. The palm trees in the back. It's just a beautiful view, and the field is spectacular. So I'd have to go with Dodger Stadium.
Just don't bring your car. It won't be there when you get out.
All right, Dodger Stadium. Thank you, Jody. Ryan, what's your pick?
So it's funny. I was actually in between that choice, Keith, with the Camden Yards. Been there a couple times as a kid. They have Hooters outside. Our coach would bring us over there. That was
always
great.
A plus.
City Field. And as a Phillies fan, I hate to say that, but the atmosphere, the way that they maintain the classic look of baseball, but able to make it modern too, it was an enjoyable watch, especially because the Phillies won the couple of times I've been there. So
the Phillies win every time they go there.
Yeah, seems that way.
Do you wear Philly stuff to the City Field?
Oh, of course I do. But you know what? This is outside of time, but
Sorry.
heckler-wise, it's way worse in New York than it is in Philly, and I don't care what anyone says. Way worse.
Do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it. Go Birds.
Okay.
That's it.
Go Birds. Great. Debate it out, gentlemen.
City Field is gorgeous. It's small, so it's very like you feel like you're on the field the whole time. Mm-hmm. The seats are a little uncomfortable. I spent the entire half of the 2020 season there the entire time. I never left my seat either, so it was really uncomfortable the entire time. And then I agree that City Field is nice, but Camden, you can't beat it, man. It's just you got the nice. The Baltimore skyline behind it. You have the fireworks go up. And anytime they say the national anthem itself, the crowd shouting out "Oh" to get you going. The whole thing is amazing.
Yeah.
I've
never been to Chavez Ravine, but it does look a little like it was from the '70s, and it kind of still is with that scoreboard in the background.
It was built in
and
'62.
stuff. Yeah, so it kind of still has that older feel to it, which maybe it needs a little touching up, in my opinion.
I think they did touch it up a little bit, but yeah, it's just for me, it was just a spectacular place to watch baseball.
Oh, it's got to be gorgeous out there.
Just not just because of the Southern California, but the diamond. I can't explain it. Just there's a feel, and there's Southern California baseball. I mean, it's huge because they play all year round, and there's something about that's why I think they pack the place a lot. I bring my little league team there all the time. We bring the whole. It was
And it's great the amount
the
of
atmosphere. And
the amount of water you steal from Camden to keep it wet and green is just so they all dirt in their front yards is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
thank
truck
God
that
it
in.
rains a lot in L.A.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I love LA. We love it.
We do.
We love it. But I haven't been to City Field. Mm-hmm. I can't say so. I do know some things about some friends of mine that went. But I remember when they first built it and was first opening up, they didn't really do much of a tribute to the two teams that were combined to make the Mets, which was the Giants and the Dodgers. And I don't think they served that history enough.
Sure. I agree. They do have the Jackie Robinson kind of rotunda, which is important too. But you're right. But the colors were like brown and
like
red.
They didn't celebrate
weird.
their history, and I don't understand that.
Was that LA? That's not the Coliseum. The Chavez Ravine, right?
Chavez Ravine.
Right. That's when they first went out to LA.
Actually, when they played in the Coliseum when they first got.
And then they built that for them, right?
57.
Yeah.
And they built Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine in '62.
Nice.
Now I'm curious to see, obviously, how the umpire crew over there, if they've ever been to any of these stadiums to help with that.
Thing.
But
it's like saying the '50s. Nobody, the '50s is like
maybe
a billion years ago. So I had no chance on that.
It's a fair shot, but you can agree the view on City Field is there's not a bad seat.
There isn't. Yeah, they angle everything in. It is very anywhere you sit.
Fenway, on the other hand, you have a whole couple sections where there's pillars in front of seats.
Same thing with Wrigley. I sat down at Wrigley one time because I went to 2 games in the aforementioned '94 season, and I sat down and there was a green pillar in front of me. They sold me a ticket with a goddamn pillar in front of me. You Chicago people
just take the seats out behind them. It doesn't even make sense.
They had the Yankee Stadium. It was the worst. The original.
Yeah. But, I don't have much else to say besides, the great seat in Citi Field. The traffic does suck getting there, especially if you're coming from New Jersey, which a lot of people are, in North Jersey and whatnot. But that's my take.
Very well debated. Let's take it over to the umps. Mike, we're going to start with you. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go. I've never been to Baltimore Stadium.
You're missing out.
Surprisingly enough, I live in Jersey. We've never been to Baltimore.
Easy ride.
Straight down.
95, right?
Plus Hooters.
Yeah, plus Hooters.
Citi Field looks legit. But I heard the airport.
Oh, that's a
pain in the ass.
That's a good point.
Everything in New York's a pain in the ass.
The whales in the harbor of Baltimore don't make a sound.
Especially in the gay neighborhoods. Cut that out.
The Baltimore Aquarium is quite quiet.
Let's go Camden Yards because I love Cal.
I thought
There
you
you
said
go.
City.
Cal's the best.
Alright.
Just think Cal walking and running around after breaking that record.
I like them all.
All right.
There
He
you
said
go.
Camden.
You can't say you like them.
He said
I like them
Camden.
all.
He said Camden.
Danny?
I've never been to Shea or City. I'll never go to them.
I like your principles.
Sorry. Fuck the mess, Keith, but...
Feel free, brother. Everyone else does.
Honestly, I've been to Camden Yards. I've been to a lot of ballparks all over my life, but I think Camden Yards is the most average ballpark out there. And I hate... love you, Ryan.
No, it's all good, man. Fair assessment.
Did you just say you hate the
Yes, all day.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you're saying Camden Yards.
Yards.
All right. Keith up 2. Colin, let's get some snacks.
Bring the closer in.
All right, gentlemen, moving on. Keith up 2-0 in the third inning. We might have a mercy rule here.
Taking steroids?
Every day.
We're going on to most unbreakable record. 3 good choices here, and you guys are arguing why yours is the most unbreakable. Jody, starting with you whenever you're ready.
Cy Young. I'd have to go with Cy Young. And the weird thing is you never won a Cy Young award. But anyway, 749 complete games. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. And 511 wins. I just don't think those records are going to be beat. I was going to go Joe D's 56 game hitting streak, which I do think, Pete Rose came as close, but the first closest one was 44 or something like that.
44.
But I just got to go with the way the game is today. All these wins in complete games, it'll never happen.
Okay, so we're going with Cy Young, most wins in complete games. Ryan, most unbreakable record.
Ricky Henderson. Stolen bases.
Okay.
1,406. The next highest, Lou Brock with 938. Nobody's ever going to come close to that.
What was the number in Ricky's?
For Ricky, it was 1,406.
Wow.
Lou Brock, 938. And, for that, I'll go into my arguments when we get into that section. But that's, I don't see anything other records-wise coming close to breaking that. So,
Do we know
Ricky Henderson.
Do we know who?
Jody?
Who leads? Who's got the most stolen bases right now?
Currently?
Currently? Here it is.
But that's-
Starling Marte.
Starling
Marte.
Marte.
Never seen Marte.
Okay.
Marte. 338.
Yeah.
Great. Keith, most unbreakable record.
So this is a tough question because
It is.
any of these longevity ones, like Ricky played for 20 plus years, Cy Young pitched, 700 games in a year when he had the ball. I always contend when I have this conversation with people that Johnny Vandermeer's record will never be broken, but it always could because Johnny Vandermeer, for those of us who don't know how owns the record, he pitched consecutive no-hit pitched games, full complete games of no hits, which means to beat that record, you need to throw 3 of them in a row, 3 back-to-back no-hitters. So, and there's only been like roughly a handful, maybe 200 in the history of baseball since 18 whatever. So I find that an in-season record like that is tough. Compilation records, no one's going to beat Lou Gehrig, no one's going to beat Cy Young, no one's going to beat Ricky because they're not going to play long enough to be able to do it. But so I interpreted the question as a single season record, not a lifetime achievement record.
Fair enough. Debate it out, gentlemen.
Oh, I agree with you totally, Joey. There's no way any pitcher is going to get even a third or even a quarter of, which is bigger, a third or a quarter.
Depends.
If you give me a third of $1, I think I'd want more. Yeah, it's 33. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyway, they're not going to get close to Cy Young. There's not impossible. And Ricky. So the thing about Ricky is I don't know if you've seen some of the calls they've been doing this year with the obstruction of the bases. And now that they have that whole balk rule and the bigger bases, and they're kind of putting emphasis on running, somebody might be able to catch that. I doubt it, but there's a chance.
Who?
I'm just saying, maybe it could be anybody coming up now. So, you're saying it's never ever going to be broken. If someone playing in 10 years from now with the new rule changes, they might be able to swipe it. You never know. Same thing with Cal Ripken is another one with all these off days and rest days and all that stuff. No one's going to get what's he have, like 1,200 and something games played consecutive. No one's ever coming to play that many games in a row. He played like 15 years in a row without missing any games.
So I thought it was interesting. You mentioned season versus career, right? Mm-hmm. Ricky Henderson also owns the season.
He does for 130
multiple times.
130 is the record for in the season for him. Vince Coleman came closest back in the 80s, but again,
85
with the new rules, Acuna could get up there because they're giving him bases if you're standing in front of the base. If your shoelaces in the baseline, they're giving you the stolen base. So. These in-season ones are tough, and I agree that Ricky is the best base stealer there is. He's the worst speech writer in the world of history. Today, I'd be the greatest. Today, take it back. It was terrible when he got that last base. It was terrible, but it is possible to get 131 stolen bases in a season now. It will be anyway.
But I mean, going back to your point with the bigger bases and the obstruction rules and things of that nature, why aren't? I mean, I know it's like now, but
it just started.
But I mean, dude, Starling Marte's 338. Current player, and then Jose Altuve 293, Trey Turner 260.
Right, but Ricky
Henderson is 1,406.
But how old is Sterling Marte?
He's 35?
Okay.
Again, you have to look at the time they're going. They're all doing it now. Someone who has maybe a rookie this year or hasn't played gonna play in 5 years with this new addition of if you throw over 3 times you get a free pass because you get a balk if you don't. Like these rules are meant for them to steal. So the person who I'm saying is beating Ricky may not be playing yet. But it will.
Would you agree that the quality of catchers defensively throwing everything is better today than it was when Ricky played?
Sure.
So going to that point, it's a lot harder no matter which way you spin it for players to steal with the way that you operate as a pitcher on the rubber and the way the catchers are, the quality of catching.
I counterbalance that with what if someone taught Usain Bolt how to steal off of a pitcher? The guys get stronger and faster with all the steroids in their ass and then they're running and then you have the analytics of it takes give me a pitcher. It takes Smiley, 1.2 seconds to deliver, so they know exactly when to go. So all this stuff, as the players get better, the technology and the philosophies get better. I'm not disagreeing with you that it will take some time, but it is possible. I don't think that they're going to beat Denton True Young with 700 and something starts because after 4 innings, they're gone no matter what. They're pulling them out of no hitters. They're pulling people out of no hitters.
Analytics.
They're pulling the guys.
Right.
They don't get their wins. They're not even basing.
That's fair.
He's a 20-game winner or whatever.
You're never going to see a 20. You're not going to see a 20-game winner either. You're right.
What was yours again exactly?
Mine was a gentleman named Johnny Vandermeer for the Cleveland Indians threw a no-hitter. The next start he had in his rotation, he threw another no-hitter.
Right.
So to beat that record, you'd have to throw 3 consecutive no-hitters in a row in a season.
Right.
So So but, it's possible. It's very possible.
You think that the stolen base record of 1,406 career-wise is more realistic to reach than back-to-back-to-back? Now, I'm not discrediting it.
No, I
but
do.
Michael Lorenzen that we picked up last year as the Phillies was literally a crapshoot trade that we got.
Okay.
The first game he pitched threw a no-hitter.
Okay.
I just find it way more realistic, even though very crazy scenario, but back-to-back-to-back no-hitters, way more possible than career stolen bases. We grabbed Michael Lorenzen.
Michael Lorenzen, but Carroll on Arizona, right? How many? I don't know how offhand it's. Can anyone help me out with this? How many stolen bases he had last year? Because it was his first or second year. So let's say
stolen bases 56
Okay.
in his career. Last season he had 54.
So 54 in his first 2 years.
It's incredible.
Okay,
right?
incredible. Ricky played for like 20 plus years. So if you're getting 20 to 30 stolen, if you're getting 50 stolen bases over 20 years, he can catch them. He can do it.
So it's funny. I just did the math really quick. It would take him more than 23 seasons if he averaged 60 stolen bases every season.
Okay, but that's possible. That's over. He could play for 30 years with the technology and the medicine he has.
I disagree heavily.
But if you look it up too, if anyone who's throwing a no-hitter, even your garbage pickup threw a no-hitter, the next time they were in the rotation they pitched, no one's ever gone past like 4 innings without letting up a hit. They've never even come close to having a no-hitter and then 2 consecutive, not to mention 3 consecutive in a row. But I still can see the Jody because any of these longevity ones, it can be on your end. I'm saying that someone could possibly beat Ricky in 30 years from now because they're just that fast or they're whatever.
They have to play 30 plus.
But they have Nolan Ryan pitched for like 27, 30 years. So there are people who can do that.
Sure.
You know, but going by the philosophy that they're playing now, no one's going to be in the game long enough to get a complete game to get 700 of them because he pitched every day, 3 times a day.
Okay, so for each of you, pick a player that is currently active that has the best chance of breaking your record.
I know this is kind of out of left field here, but Jackson Holiday in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's not out of left field.
No, I mean, he's somebody that's going to be this prolific player coming in. He hasn't played in the MLB yet, but somebody to watch.
Going back to my point that the guy may not be playing.
They're just so excited about him.
Keith?
I mean, it's a complete crapshoot. Like you said, who's your character? Who's your pitcher again? Lorenzo Lamas. Who was the name? Of
Michael Lorenzo.
Michael Lorenzo. I mean, it could be him. It could be. I mean, it could be you, Cooper. I mean, it could be anybody. If you get on a fire enough, or you have enough sticky substance, or the pitcher, you're playing at the end of the season, and they're playing the A's who don't give a shit. You might find someone. It could be anywhere in the world. I'll say Paul Turlo Colon because he can come out of retirement.
Just going back at this point. Make sure you guys listen to that. What he said is that anybody off the streets can possibly do that.
Jody?
Didn't say that at all. I said it could be any pitcher who's pitching in Major League.
Jody, current player that has the best chance of breaking Cy Young's record.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Nobody.
This is nobody.
All right. Well debated, gentlemen. Let's take it over to our tribunal. Heather, let's start with you. What are you thinking?
I think it's hard to compare like the 30s to now because baseball players were tough and they were throwing all day and they didn't care. I was listening to one record. Someone said someone threw like 300 pitches in 2 days and then came back and was fine. They're never going to let them do that. So I mean, I know I don't want to say it, but no one's beating Cy Young. No one. It's impossible. Just with what they're doing with athletics, and now they're sitting you down and giving you some time and stuff like that. They're not letting pitchers throw, and pitchers are also every pitch is 100%. Back then, they were not throwing like that. They weren't throwing 100 miles per hour.
They're
and
exploding birds.
Well, yeah, and like back in the day, it was we would gun them coming across the plate. Now we're gunning from the hand, and some of these kids are hitting 103, 104 out of the hand. That didn't happen before, no one's beating Cy Young.
Great. Thank you, Heather. Danny?
I'm going to go with Cy Young.
Short and sweet. I like it, Danny. Good job.
He was. Yeah, I mean, back in those days, they couldn't handle it nowadays.
They couldn't.
Yeah, they used to play with a ball that was softer than my left nut. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. How soft your left nut? Is it softer than the right?
Can we get a confirmation from the other crew chief?
Fact check that, please.
It's called the left nut trick.
The hidden ball trick.
The hidden ball trick.
Giving a breaking ball a new meaning.
Oh, and crack the egg. It's Easter, so it's Easter season. Let's do Cy Young all day. Noel Ryan's the best pitcher ever lived. So
That's good too. Yeah.
Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to
not
go with
sold.
mine here with Ricky. I think that was just that's tough to do.
Yeah.
But he just didn't steal or walk. He actually got a lot of hits as well.
Yeah. The home runs, lead off home runs.
Yeah.
So he was hitting the ball too, and he was stealing second. He was stealing third. He was stealing home. He was doing it all. So I'll go with Ricky on this one.
So does Ella De La Cruz.
I think that's going to be tough. Pitching's tough. You never know. I mean, they could come out with some type of Tommy John type of band. Pitchers might be able to go 9 innings in the future. You never know. So I'll go with Ricky on this debate though.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Colin, let's get some snacks.
Hot dogs, peanuts.
Left nuts.
Jody has a win and is on the board. Wow. Hey. All right. Well done. Going into the 4th inning, we have Keith up 2, Jody 1, Ryan looking for that first run scored. You got this. So we've all fantasized about owning a Major League Baseball team, so let's put it to the test. You're an owner. All current players become free agents. You have the first overall pick. Who are you taking? Keith, starting with you.
Definitely Acuna from the Braves, god damn it. The guy is amazing. He has a chance to beat Ricky Henderson's single season still on base record now. He has that cool yellow arm for some reason. I don't get. But that guy, he's got power, he's got speed. They talk about 5-tool players. He might have a 6-tool no one's ever seen before. I hate the guy with a passion because he's a constant thorn in the side of my Mets. But I gotta, game respects game. He is outstanding. He's got an arm. He's got just his IQ when he takes that extra base when no one's looking or something like that, or what to throw back behind a runner. It's just the little things like that they always said that Jeter is the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame. The little things. He's got that. Plus he's got the skills to go more than that. So I see him being MVP multiple times in his career, and he's in his early 20s. Man, he's going to be around for a long time. Of course, barring injury or some kind of family dispute thing. Those Spanish guys kind of get in trouble sometimes with that. But that's my opinion on who I would take in my first round draft.
What's the 6th tool?
It's located roughly below his abdomen and between his knees. And that's right. It's there. I tell you, it gives him some a little extra confidence, support.
Did you hear his teammates talking about it?
Yeah. I think Acuna is Spanish for a large dick. I'm not sure.
He scratches his knee when he scratches his knee.
There's something to be said about that. Going back to Nick Foles, that's a totally different conversation.
That's right. Tripod.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, you're the owner. Who are you taking?
Bryce Harper. And here's the reason why. It's not just because he's an incredible baseball player. Look at what the Phillies have done since 2019 because of Bryce Harper. He's brought in players such as Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, this year Merrifield. I mean, we can go on the list. JT, getting the deals that we got, that's because of Bryce Harper. It's not because of the Phillies. If it was because of the Phillies, we would have been doing this for the last decade since we've been to the World Series. So Bryce Harper being what he is, collectively both a great hitter, home run hitter. He can literally learn to play first base on the cuff as he has, but also because of the fact that he brings in players such as we have in the last couple of years. So I'm bringing in Bryce Harper.
Great. Appreciate it. Ryan, Jody?
Well, I'm going to take a little gamble here and say Ohtani. Only because if you're starting a team, I'm the owner and I'm starting a team, I want to start with pitching. And he's a very good pitcher. We'll see if he comes back. That's a gamble, anyway. But he's also a great hitter. So you got 2 in 1 to me. And to me, you start with great pitching to start a team. Like you start with a quarterback, I think. And I would start, because of that talent that he has as a pitcher, and he can hit bombs, he's a good hitter, he plays the game right, he takes extra bases, he's a great teammate. I don't like this choice, but I would have to take him. I was going to go Judge, but because Judge does some of the same things that we got Soto and people like that because they want to play with Aaron Judge. So,
Sure.
But I got to go with
Shohei.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a gamble. Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah, I know.
He'll probably give you the odds on it too.
Well, his interpreter.
Yeah, it's his interpreter.
would have to answer it.
His interpreter's able to pull money from him. That's right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's why he deferred like $600 million so you pay off his interpreter's gambling debts.
There's got to be more to that story, man. Got to be more to that story. But anyway,
Debate it out, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, again, this is all. There's no right or wrong here. I mean.
Well, there clearly is a right or wrong, and Shohei is not the right answer.
I agree with Keith, and here's the reason why. Is Ohtani ever going to pitch again?
Exactly.
That's why I said it was a gamble.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's for more than one reason. But
I guess current player. I mean, I probably would have done a no doubter had he been pitching. I thought of that. Of course, I thought
Sure.
of that. I know he's not pitching this season.
Sure.
It just.
I mean, he went on a stretch too. I mean, a home run, hitting wise, what was it, 30 days or something?
Yeah,
like
he
that?
went crazy for a
Well,
month.
It was
he's
something.
still going to be valuable to them because he's a great hitter,
Sure.
and also what he brings to the ballpark. But I mean, I can't really argue with what you guys are saying.
Yeah,
Acuna is just forget about it.
Was it last season? I mean, obviously we're not Braves fans. Was it last season or the season before that Acuna got hurt? Was out. Still won the division. They were still a very good team. Is he really a piece that they rely on? I'm not discrediting his playing. He's top 5.
Okay, what did the Phillies do last year?
Still made some noise.
even though Harper was out for most of the season.
When
it's
Harper,
your same content.
Am I though? When Harper was out, our record was very close to 500. With him in there, we were well above.
So
500.
you're saying the same thing with Acuna. When Acuna's out, the Braves still made it far as the Phillies
Harper.
did.
I hear what you're saying, but Harper came back and it was like we were unstoppable.
So the Braves. So last year when Acuna came back and the Braves took the best record in baseball
And got beat by who?
Well, that's definitely that's a short series. That has nothing to do with it. And Harper does have how many times has Harper been injured in his career? 3 or 4, right? And not like small stuff. He's missing stretches at a time. We're talking weeks and months, right? And that's why he's playing first base now.
But while he's playing first base, though, he's
still
he's in a
okay
safe
at first base. He's going. In your next step, if you didn't have Schwarber, he would be your DH. So you're kind of losing his outfield and his infield to go. So if you're starting at something now, do you want? How old is Harper?
30.
30 plus, right? So you want a 30-plus-year-old guy, 31-year-old player who's been moved around and has several injuries and has to play a new position, or a under 30-year-old guy who got 1 season missing, but when he has the same value as Harper, probably a little more, who is lightning, has an arm, can hit just as hard as Harper does, and probably, I don't know, averages on the two.
So the argument that you're having, I would agree. As far as player to player, I'm taking Acuna. But what has Acuna done for Atlanta in a sense of what Harper has done?
Doesn't matter what Acuna's done.
Well,
the question is, who would you take? And you just said you'd take Acuna, so I think I just won the point right there.
No, I said who's the better player?
Acuna.
The question to this debate is who would you take first overall?
Acuna.
It's not the same. That's not the same.
Jody, what are you thinking?
No, I'm just saying it's Acuna, whoever it is, everybody's got their own special talent, and that's why I think I think the question was, who would you take if you had one free agent? I interpreted it maybe incorrectly, I don't know, but if I was
Ohtani's
starting a team, what would you do? I would start with pitching.
I would start pitching too, but the problem is he's not going to be pitching much at all.
Of course, I thought that.
But so your position's not wrong. Ohtani is a phenomenal player, but half of the reason why you wanted him first is kind of very, as you say, gambled, because you don't know if he's going to come back. If he does, if his arm's out, going to hang on to it.
But if he does come back,
if he does, but again, he's still not. They're not going to. Eventually, 2 or 3 years from now, he's going to be just hitting.
Maybe a couple innings out of the bullpen.
Whatever.
That's possible.
But he can do it. He can do it. It's a valuable tool.
But if I mean, at least Harper and Acuna are going to play every
we don't know
time.
about Harper.
Oh, well, you're right. I don't know about Harper. He does get hurt a lot.
Especially when he was 19.
But Harper's injuries, I mean, the most recent one was something that was nothing to do with him. It was the fact that he got hit in a very awkward spot.
Yeah, but that's part of the game.
You can't control that. That can happen to any player in the league.
It can, but he's been hurt before this. He's been hurt after that. I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't agree with your... Schwarber and Riamoto all came because of Harper. They came because of Benjamin Franklin.
They came.
Because Scott Boras got them so much money that the Phillies said, "Yeah, we'll pay you for that." That's why they're on that team.
But
the GM did all that.
I'm getting paid this much money, and I play with Bryce Harper.
Yeah, but he could.
They got offered more money at other places.
Oh, did they? But you sat in those rooms. You know who got?
Well, I'm going off of what we know.
What do we know?
Off of what going back to that first debate with the media.
Yeah.
But
that's a very good callback, Ryan.
But with that said, again, it's about who would I take first overall as far as giving me the most value out of everything, and Harper. Whether you agree or disagree as to why those players are still in Philly or stayed in Philly, they had money that was offered to them at other places, but they decided to stay here because of Harper.
I think how much money, how much tax you're getting on in years in your contract, and if the team's any good, because if you want to go to a team, now granted Harper makes the team better, but but if I'm Schwarber and I want to pick between Acuna and the Braves pitching staff and Harper and Wheeler, I go to Atlanta because they're locked up for the next 15 years. So again, if you're looking for as a GM, I take the younger. Comparable power, comparable RBI, much faster, much younger, healthier Acuna today than Harper. If this debate was, 7 years ago? All right, now we're talking, because that's when Harper was not, not say damaged goods, but he wasn't as veteran as physically, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that the distance between their abilities is trumped by the health and youth of Acuna if you are a GM, and you're looking for the future. That's all. Ohtani, again, I think he's good. I think he has a swing that can go into a slump a bit, and his arms are very questionable, but he's still high up there. He's better than Trout at this point.
Yeah, well debated, gentlemen. Going to take it over to the Tribunal. Danny, what are you thinking?
He's not thinking.
I already had my. And I'm going with a gut. The man, Bryce Harper.
Bryce.
Sorry, Ryan, I gotta take him.
Go Birds. I had Bryce Harper. What are you saying sorry for?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sorry, guys, I'm fried.
Sorry, Ryan, I picked your guy.
Apology accepted, Dan. Thank you.
Nah, but for real though, Bryce Harper all the way. He's God's gift. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
So let me ask you this, Danny. If he was still on Washington, would you have the same answer?
Fuck.
Aha, thank you.
Fuck.
Mike.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Connie. Pitcher or not, I'm taking him. He's just too good at the plate.
who?
Watani.
Connie. Pitching or not, maybe he'll pitch down the line, but
He's a lot of dogs.
he's incredible.
Okay, going with Tani.
Yeah, so Ryan, I'm with you. The reason is not because it's a homer, because Scott's his manager. He manages everyone, and he can get in their ear to be like, hey, why don't you come with Bryce? I think Bryce, if I'm an owner, yes, winning is what I want, but money is what I want too. And Bryce puts people in the seats.
Definitely.
When he's there, and in playoffs, no one's better. Like, he literally puts the team on his back, and I think like he gets more people to want to come play. He wanted JT, and he busted his butt to get JT. And now we're all like, awesome, we got JT. Trey wanted to come because of him. And I think we'll get more and more opportunities with Scott and him working together to get these people over. Yeah.
He's
He's his agent. So he is the agent for every big time player.
Yeah.
So getting in their ear like, hey, what about the Phillies? You got double trouble right there. So Ryan, you took this one.
What the hell is
And that's funny though too, because
Jordan Montgomery.
when I first said Bryce Harper, I noticed you were like, oh, of course you picked Bryce Harper, but then going into that answer, so yeah.
No, you got good points. I appreciate the points, and I think with Scott as his manager, I mean his agent, you're good. You're getting them.
Cool.
All right, we got Keith with 2 runs, Jody with 1 run, and Ryan with 1 run going into the final inning. All right, moving on to the final inning. We are going to best logo. Jody, we're starting with you. Moving into the final inning, this is now Tribunal's redemption. Umpires are going to choose a word that you cannot say in this round. If you say the word, you have to get handcuffed. Danny, what's the word?
The.
Oh shit.
Suck my dick, motherfucker.
All right, gentlemen.
No
Suck
diddy.
my dick. What was I allowed to say?
No diddy.
No diddy.
All right, gentlemen.
can't
Going
say
into
the.
this final round, you cannot say the word the. All
I don't want to get cuffed.
right, gentlemen, we're going into best logo. So what is the best logo that has been on these beautiful uniforms? Jody, what do you think?
Gotta go with the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, again, it was a bit of a tough choice. Love the Mets logo with the city in the back, being a New Yorker. But I don't know. There's something about that bird, strong-looking bird on the bat, the Cardinals and their rich history. There's just something really strong about it, and it's really clever. And
What are you describing right now?
Beep beep.
the Cardinals logo.
He said a the. He said the.
said the
He said the
5
Cardinals
times.
logo.
I was going to say, how many times were you waiting for him to say it?
I mean,
We
in terms
were
of
doing
at
it.
least 7 or 8 before you guys even did that.
Colin, can you please handcuff Jody?
Can you say it while saying
Can I go back and find my argument?
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
guys, man.
what are we doing last night again?
All right, Jody, now that you are handcuffed, you may finish the remainder of your time.
Okay.
Fuck you.
What's your point?
St. Louis Cardinals, because it is a beautiful bird, and a bird is a good thing to have on a bat.
Great. Thank you.
Well said.
Really well
said.
argued, huh?
Well groomed, yes.
Yeah.
The well-groomed bird.
Keith,
Well,
you got a
I'm
minute.
professional, you know.
I have a
Keith,
minute.
you got a minute. Best logo.
My logo is from Milwaukee during a time of 80s history.
It's like working with Chris Walken here.
Well, I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to make sure.
Well, you know, the Cardinals.
Well, if you want me to talk, I will. So I'm trying not to say. So as a team, we're gonna try it. Milwaukee Brewers logo is outstanding. It is meta because M and B of
Bullshit!
make up Milwaukee Brewers.
Fuck this!
So we rest
The
case.
Boom. X.
He said the.
I said
He said the.
I tried to help you, dude, but you got too
He
much
said
E.
the.
Take the cuffs off of Jody, put them on
Too much
Ryan.
E. I tried to jump in, man. I tried to help you.
I saw it too. I saw it happen.
Do we share them?
Yeah. Chris.
Yeah, we'll share them. Now we got 2 people locked up for using their free speech.
Whalin.
Ryan, you may continue.
The Colorado Rockies logo.
Beautiful. Gentlemen, debate it out.
Can we say we can't say the during the debate either?
Well, we're already locked up.
That doesn't.
We're already locked up.
Yeah, you're already locked up. You're golden.
I mean, look, the logo is cool.
Which one?
MB. It says it has a ball, and you're catching a ball. But the MB for Milwaukee
Come
Brewers.
on now.
It took me years to even figure that out.
At the end?
Jody, anything on St. Louis Cardinals?
No, I'm still looking at the Milwaukee Brewers. It's
I'm sure
fucking-
you are. I feel it.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Danny, if you look at that logo, in the state you're in, it's mind blowing.
It is.
If you really look at it, the M looks like 3 people bending down at the gym. But
Jim, are you going to?
but the Rockies is nice, but they're not the Purple Mountain Majesties. The Cardinals are just, I don't know, the tradition. There's a lot of tradition.
The Rockers are just remind me too much of John Denver crashing and dying.
Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah.
What? Let me ask you this. As I'm currently bent over, as well as probably cut off a lot of circulation.
Just like the M, just like
for the Brewers, what are they named after? Keith?
beer.
Right. The logo has nothing to do with that. For St. Louis Cardinals, St. Louis, the Cardinals, are they is that like a symbol for St. Louis, or is that just a?
Yes,
It is.
the state bird.
Okay, so that's closer to the logo of what it's supposed to mean for than the Brewers. Colorado literally has the Purple Mountains in the background with the baseball. You're literally
Ryan, if you're not intelligent enough to see the artistic beauty over, I literally know what the Rockies are, and I don't need to see them. I've been saying it for the whole time.
All right, any final things to say on your logo, Ryan?
I got nothing.
Keith?
I'm just telling you, of all the logos, whoever came up with that idea needed one of those golden pencils or something, because to put together a baseball glove out of 2 letters that have nothing to do with each other is pretty impressive. I'm just saying. Plus, modern yount.
Yeah, there you go. Jody?
Wait a minute, is that a B around the baseball?
Yeah, it's MB, Milwaukee Brewers.
But the Brewers are supposed to be for beer.
Doesn't matter. It's a logo for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Tweet, I'm calling bullshit.
Why are you
It's
calling?
not the state bird.
Oh, okay.
It was a person heard that it was a lovely shade of cardinal, and that's why they were
Cardinal red.
So make sure you guys know when you guys are deciding that the Colorado logo is literally the only one that actually represents Colorado. It's more, their specific area. So
Gives a crap about
It doesn't
You gotta read
necessarily.
your little thing.
What are the-
Shit,
the
I
Yankees-
I just want you guys to take a note of that. That's all.
Colorado.
The Yankee
Get
logo
the
here
fuck
that
out.
I
You
have on right
should have
here.
stayed with the Yankee logo.
The interlocking NY. I
Is
wish I
this
did now.
like a lottery ticket? What are we doing here?
Oh man.
Quiet on the set.
What organization would I have to call?
Oh my God, Heather.
Call the Oakland Athletics offices and
Can I ask him to put a bid in for the Oakland Athletics?
yeah.
I'll give you $5 for the team.
You want to do that? Okay.
Sounds great. They might take it.
Plus, it's going to be on YouTube.
They're not going to answer.
Thank you for calling the business offices of the Oakland A's. If you know the extension of the person you are calling, please dial it now.
You know it, right?
Please listen carefully to the following options as our menu has changed.
Oh yeah, like everybody
For
else.
A's ticket sales, please press 1. For A's ticket services, please press 2. For ballpark information, game day services, lost and found inquiries, and guest support, please press 3.
Lost and found.
For game day employee services, please press 4. If you know the name of the person you are trying to reach, please press 9. For all other inquiries, please press 5 or press 0 to reach the operator.
Operator.
Yeah, 5.
Or 0.
You get again, though.
You've made an invalid selection.
You can't get an operator.
The Oakland A's.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
We
All right,
attempted.
taking it over to the tribunal.
It was a good try, though. You didn't even have an operator in Oakland. Like, we don't have any operators. Sorry, we don't have enough money.
Best logo. Heather, what are you thinking?
I'm disappointed in you, Ryan, for not going with the Philadelphia Athletics. That was the best logo. Huge elephant, putting his leg up. Like,
I
that's
thought
the
about it.
coolest logo
I actually thought about it.
ever.
I was going current.
No, I thought it was awesome. Like, that was one of the best logos. And the Milwaukee Brewers old school logo with that big fat guy swinging the net. Like, that was
But
cool
yeah, the
too.
Padre, too.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, I think Ryan gets it again with the Rockies. I think they really embraced what they are, Milwaukee, and that stupid Cardinals that you pretend is their state bird. Just some lady said is a lovely shaded cardinal. That's how you got your name. So I'm going, Ryan, you win again.
All right. Mike?
Stupid cardinal.
I like the Cardinals. I like their logo the best. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
It's a bird.
It's a bunch of rocks.
This looks cool.
It's a mountain range that everyone knows about.
But it's not purple.
Yeah, he's got a point there.
Danny?
You sure?
The purple mountain majesties are like, where the hell are they?
That's
They're
a.
not in Colorado.
A lot of things are going through my mind right now to make this decision.
I don't know where they are, right?
I'm gonna go with the goddamn Brewers.
My man. Brewers is right.
We got
So
a
meta.
triple tie.
Triple tie.
All right, we have a triple tie. That means we take it over to the SnackMaster.
Pick the right answer, Colin.
SnackMaster, what do you think? And you wore a baseball jersey the first 2 debates that we had, and now on the baseball one you wore a football jersey.
So no badass. It was a charge.
All right, Colin, who's winning this debate?
Gotta go with Phillies. Right.
His logo?
Yeah.
Why do you like the Colorado Rockies?
He does
logo
it.
the
He
most?
likes the rock. He likes the Phillies.
Because they look like they're a good organization. And they're not sketchy like some of these other ones out there.
Beautiful. So that's a win for Ryan.
I'll take it.
Oh,
Gentlemen, we got a quick.
I think we're a little biased in this place a little bit.
All right.
It's gonna be fucking fun.
Hold on. So we have a tie. We have 1 extra inning, okay?
Okay.
Oh, Christ.
This is going to be a speed round, okay? You're not going to know what the question is.
You're giving me speed.
You guys choose whatever answer you want. You can't choose the same answer, okay? Question is, ready? Team that has the best shot of winning the World Series in 2024.
Dodgers.
Phillies.
Okay? Debate it out.
Have the Dodgers in the last 2 years made it past? Like
They made it just as far as the Phillies did, but they also added the aforementioned Otani, and they still have Freeman and Betts and Kershaw.
How did that 1 inning go?
That won't.
That pitcher?
Yeah.
No, that's the first inning only. I mean, wait till Wheeler gets hurt and he's out. Who's your number 2 or 3? The Phillies have the same team that lost last year. The Dodgers upgraded their team this year. I hate the fact that they did it because they did it by cheating with the fucking money, but the team got better. You can't tell me that the debate about Harper and Otani as being number 1 player being added to a team who already had over 100 wins last year is not going to help them get closer to have a better chance of winning the World Series. Whether they do or not, who knows?
Would you agree or disagree that Harper is healthier this season than last season? Would you just agree or disagree?
At the beginning of the year, absolutely. So was Otani.
All right, Tribunal, very quickly, let's vote for a winner of this debate. Danny?
Well, I just got Sunday's season ticket package for the Phillies this year, so.
Okay, Mike?
That's your reason?
I'm gonna go Phillies. I think
just
the
want
whole,
them to win.
The whole gambling thing really messed up the clubhouse, so I'll go Phillies. They have a better clubhouse atmosphere. Yeah.
All right, Heather?
Phil's because Otani is going to be playing in the G League for basketball. Just the switch with Jordan, he's going to try it out for a little bit, and then they'll let him right back into baseball a couple years later, like they did with Jordan with the.
Okay, but that wild card route the Phillies are going to have to take is going to be a lot harder than the Dodgers getting the first round bye.
Yeah.
Cue Dancing on My Own, please.
No. I'm done with this.
All right, gentlemen, I know it was very tough coming up from New York and going against Philadelphia fans, but
we were rigged.
We're totally rigged.
just like the real MLB,
Just like
I
the
would say
election.
this was pretty rigged, right, gentlemen?
Yes.
I feel like it's the 2020 election right now.
Yeah. Ryan, how do you feel? You're the champ.
I feel great. I was down in an account and
You
figured
are,
I was
man.
just having fun and
You are.
had a little comeback there.
Yeah,
so
congratulations on having the judges on your side. Good job.
I'll take whatever I can get.
You should.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out. Great debate.
Good job, man. Great.
Easily Pablo Sanchez. Pablo Ramon Sanchez, more specifically.
I would say I swing both ways, but this room would not accept that.
I lived in LA for a number of years, went to a lot of Dodger games. Bullshit!